This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Black Box Prompter. Are you a musician tired of being tethered to your tablet or music stand? Do you long to connect with your audience on a deeper level, but find yourself constantly glancing down at your lyrics and chords? Then I highly recommend Black Box Prompter, the smart and stealthy lyrics and chords teleprompter designed to liberate musicians from the stage clutter. This innovative device is perfect for bands, hobbyists jamming out in the garage, touring pros rocking arenas, and even houses of worship looking to elevate their services. It discreetly displays your lyrics and chords, allowing you to maintain eye contact with your audience, adding an extra layer of authenticity and connection to your performance. Don't let distractions hold you back. Unleash your full potential and create a more powerful connection with your audience with Black Box Prompter. Click the link in our episode description and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout for 10% off your purchase. Black Box Prompter, the smart teleprompter built for musicians by musicians. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Frankie Corcoran. How we all doing? You all having a good week, good month? This is one of the last episodes of March, which just blows my mind to say. But here we are. So not a whole lot going on this week in terms of projects and stuff like that. We did mention over on the Fourth Movement Insiders podcast about our tour, our library tour. We did our with Concertine Collective. Of course, we did a music storytelling series that lasted for the whole month of May last year. And we're working on doing it again this year. We don't have the dates finalized, not set in stone yet, but we have it all where things are coming together, and I'm super excited to be doing it again. And except this time, we're going to be doing it in different cities in the province. So I'm super excited. Anybody listening in, some locations such as Moncton, Dieppe, and Campbellton, we got a couple things going on. We will announce concrete details once we are able to. So super stoked for that. Moving on to our show today and our guest. This is a really, really good one. I really, really enjoyed chatting with her. Iris Barratt. She's an event program creator, award-winning author, and she's basically a very passionate ambassador for world peace. And I really, really admire the way she does things. Definitely be sure to go check out her website, www.anonymousexpressions.com. The link is in our episode description, so be sure to go check that out. It encourages positivity and peace and just all-around goodness in the world and treating people with kindness and everything. It has all kinds of awards and stuff like that. I'll let her explain it in the interview. I don't want to explain the whole thing, but it's basically really, really cool. I've never really experienced much like that before. So I'm really, really honored to have her here. And we talk about a lot of things, just being kind out of the goodness of your heart, not out of your own ego, and all that good stuff. So thank you so much to Iris for coming on. And as I said, be sure to check out the website. It is in the episode description at anonymousexpressions.com. Later in the show, I want to give my thoughts. They announced Conan is coming back to host the Oscars. I delve into that a little bit. And then I also want to talk about the Jonathan Majors comments about him expressing interest in returning to Marvel. So will he not? There's also a bit of complications with regards to that, about whether he really could come back, but we'll talk about that later on. But until then, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right, hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Frankie Corcoran, and today I am joined by a multifaceted entertainer. She does, she does so much stuff. Primarily, she's a event program creator, a lifelong learner, award-winning author, global ambassador for peace and justice. She does so much stuff. You name it, she does it. Iris Barratt. Iris, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, Frankie. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And like as I said, just going through everything that you've done, truly astonishing. How'd you kind of get started and all that?
Well, when I was young, I had a really big heart and I really wanted to express it. And so I started honoring people anonymously, just writing sweet little notes where I could let my heart be what it truly was. And I found the voice of the grateful anonymous appreciator. And then later I found the voice of the courageous anonymous truth teller. And I'm a huge advocate for telling the truth anonymously as well as honoring people anonymously.
Oh, that's good. So, why'd you choose to do it anonymously? Is it just one of those things where, just being nice for the sake of being nice? Like some people,
Exactly.
yeah, they don't want to. Like that's one thing about people when they're they film themselves. Like I see these videos on TikTok and Reels and stuff like that of people filming themselves buying pizzas and stuff like that for homeless people. Which when you hear that, it sounds cool and very very nice, but why publicize that? Why make that a big thing? Just do it and go about your day. Like that's really I mean that's how I see it. So why'd you choose to do it anonymously?
Well, you're right. And it's all about loving people unconditionally, doing it without an agenda. And what you find is that it's a very noble thing to do, and it builds self-esteem, self-love. I mean, I wish everybody could know how much these honoring awards that I've created and shared through the mail over the years, how much it has absolutely transformed and inspired my life, made me feel so good about honoring people unconditionally just out of the goodness and joy that it brings. And of course, our inner child loves to get surprises in the mail. Everybody loves that. And all the awards that I offer through my Etsy shop, I have free awards that I always give: Gifted and Talented Child Awards and Honorary Caregiver of Light Awards.
And also encouraging people too to do better and to just be themselves. Really, I mean that's always a big thing. How important is it to have those types of people, like strong support system? Because some people can go without having people like that and they just go about their business and they still thrive. But
Uh-huh.
is it better to have people in your corner, or is it good to just go about your own journey and to
Well,
just do it all yourself?
and I think it's great to have both. Nevertheless, here's the powerful part, Frankie, is so say for example, I send someone a loving kindness award in the mail. And when they don't know who sent it because it's been clearly sent anonymously on purpose, they have to think about all the wonderful people in their life who could have been so kind to send that to them. And the mystery has a huge impact. And I must say that the honoring awards, they're such wonderful surprises. Our inner child loves it. I have a gifted and talented child award that I love, and then I have like a childlike wonder award. Today, I'm going to give you the illustrious Instigator award. We'll get to that. And there's something about the element of surprise and having to think about all the people in your life that could have been so kind just to do something to lift your day. And I'll tell you, some of these kids in school that are struggling, parents are out to lunch on drugs or alcohol. They just went to live with grandma. I mean, some of these poor children and elders a lot of times don't really have the voice that they need or the support and encouragement that they need. So those things are important to me. And then I must say that while we're talking about anonymous, probably the most popular thing I've ever written is a poem that confronts verbal abuse and bullying. And it's been translated into a ton of languages. It's been going around the world since 2006. And as you know, Frankie, unfortunately, yeah, it's a good poem, but unfortunately, the reason it's so popular is because verbal abuse and bullying are so dang prevalent, right?
That's the problem. Like it's always funny that or maybe not funny, but just when you look at, that's probably the biggest or one of the biggest issues that people will oftentimes not that it doesn't get the attention that it deserves, but it's one of those things where um, every little thing that we do or that people will do, talking badly about people and stuff like that in school, that also
Yes.
counts as bullying. Like there's lots of things, like people can be so passionate about wanting to help the problem, but then it's also people don't oftentimes take that extra step back and think, okay, what am I doing? Am
You're
I
absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's a big thing. Feel free to elaborate on that and maybe like how important is self-awareness when it comes to stopping or preventing these types of situations.
Well, and here's the thing, nobody wants to be called on the carpet or get thrown under the bus. So when people find that for a couple of bucks through my Etsy shop, they can have me send my powerful poem that I'm going to share with you in a minute about verbal abuse that confronts verbal abusers. It is so powerful. And again, it's the mystery, Frankie. People have to look around and think, oh, I wonder who said this. So let me tell you real quick. I had a gal call me last week from Oklahoma. She said, I was so upset with my brother-in-law. I was treating my sister and those kids so awful, and I didn't know what to do. And I found you, and I had you send your poem to my brother-in-law, and I want to tell you what happened. She said at first he got it and he's like, ruh, 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 what's this crap? Ruh, ruh. Got defensive, but then 2 days later he came to her sister and said, I'm wondering if maybe the school might have sent this to me. I'm wondering if maybe one of the kids might have spoken with one of their school counselors. And she said, you know what? That's a good possibility. And he felt ashamed and he absolutely changed his behavior. And she's crying and she's thanking me and honoring me. And I said, I honor you. You are the one who went, this is not okay. I want to find a solution. And you did. And she said, things are so much better. And I get those kind of, phone calls and feedbacks a lot about this poem.
Oh wow. And that's all always really like God, like just everything I'm hearing about you, it's just it's so nice to know that there are still nice people out there in the world. You know what I mean? Like that's just always the best. Um,
Well,
especially in today's world where people or maybe not people in general are mean, but like just all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, and just
truly.
we need people to just supportive people who um are just always in your corner, I guess you could say. Because I mean, like, you see
Absolutely.
what's going on in the news and stuff like that, and with the tariffs and this and that, and how people are reacting to that. We always use entertainment and art and stuff like that as a outlet to not just express our own creativity, but also to just forget about the craziness that's going on in the world and stuff like that. How important is art, do you find, in trying to navigate and deal with the craziness that we are not by choice that we are surrounded by in today's day and age?
Well, and I think it is important. And the art that I do with my awards, and they're all poetic. Here's the thing, is that they give people something tangible they can read over and over and over again. It's positive, it builds their self-esteem, it brings out that childlike wonder, and it really gives people the appreciation, encouragement, and support that can make all the difference. I mean, sometimes that's what helps us to thrive, really. I mean, does anybody have too much appreciation, encouragement, and support? And there's a lot of ways to honor people anonymously. Some people do it through art. I do it through poetry. There are many different ways that we can, encourage people and honor people and support people, and it's priceless. And this poem about verbal abuse, I'd really like to share with you. It helps protect people because it
Okay.
calls the verbal abuser on the carpet, makes them look at it. And the other thing, Frankie, I'm so excited about, there are so many domestic violence shelters now who are using this poem with their women and children, primarily anybody, and to find their voice and confront verbal abuse directly. And that brings me incredible joy because it's very, very effective for these people in finding their voice who've been so beaten down, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's something that it's always difficult to address those things too, well, especially for people who deal with abusive, or whether they're in an abusive relationship or um even if it's not like a marriage or anything like that, but just a toxic friendship,
You're
and
right.
it's always one of those things where you were the only one in the room. So it's if you tell your story and your side of things, you're always worried about what are the ramifications if I open up about this, and are people going to believe
Absolutely.
me over that person? I
And
mean,
yep,
yes.
that's why people aren't honest. That's why people are afraid to be honest and truthful, and they don't want to get involved. And so when they find that, and here's the other thing, honestly, about the poetry that you'll find is that it's a universal voice. So like if you tried to confront your neighbor and you wrote something down, he might know it was you, right? I mean, but poetry is a real universal voice. And so that's one of the things that this has going for it is it's a universal voice confronting a universal problem in a very clear way. Would you like to hear it?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Feel free to say it.
Okay, so this is what people get in the mail. It's just on white paper. It says, Shame on You, a poem about verbal abuse and bullying, sent to you anonymously as a serious wake up call. Shame, shame, shame on you. Do you even know the damage that you do? It hurts others to see how you treat us. Like you are dumb and stupid, you verbally beat us. Shame on you for the tyrant that you are, spewing mean, angry swords as you leave another scar. What you value is control, you freak. How dare you terrorize we who are merely meek? Why do you shame and blame? Why, it's just another superiority game. It sadly makes you feel superior while thrashing an innocent being's interior. Your ugly game has absolutely no winner. It only makes you a self righteous sinner. The only way out of your abusive game and really give up your shame and blame is to find real values, good and true, and plant them inside and make them part of you. The truth of the matter and the truth about you is that you are miserable, unhappy, and don't know what to do. I say unto you, you, you must change what you do. Plant seeds that give value, like esteem, love, and trust. For your behavior is destructive, and change it you must. Shame, shame, shame on you. Wake up now to see and change the damage that you do. That's it.
Wow. Congratulations. That's really good. I was just pausing. I was like, I don't want to apply too soon because then she's like, oh, no, there's more. Uh,
No, that's it.
that's so good. Wow. So when did you first write that one?
2006, and it's been translated into, I lost track of how many languages, and I lost track of how many domestic violence shelters, or because they're constantly referring it to other ones. And boy, the people, they work with that. They work with finding their voice, and it's proven to be very, very valuable. And when people don't want to get involved, but they see the problem, they can have me send that. It comes from anonymousexpressions.com, my website, so everybody knows it's been sent anonymously on purpose from some PO box somewhere in Oregon, and that brings me joy.
Wow, that is fantastic. That's really, really good. And so since 2006, my God, I would have been in what, first grade, second grade, something like that. Like it's just
Well, you
crazy to
cute youngster.
and just to think that, all these years later, it's still so relevant. It's still so. How do you feel whenever you see your work still being used and still being put out there, even after all these years? Because I mean, was it one of those things that you didn't think people would still be talking about now?
I really had no idea. I know that a lot of my friends and their friends and people would ask me to send it. It was kind of like, I had this undercover name, the anonymous instigator. And so people would come to me and say, Hey, I want to talk to AI or the anonymous instigator. And most of the time it was like, look, I'm seeing something going on I'm not happy about. I want to talk to you about sending your poem. And also the honoring award that I have that also has the distinction of being translated into the most languages internationally is my Spirit of Compassion Award, which is pretty popular too.
It's like the Oscars of kindness, basically. Is that a good way to put it?
Well, it kind of is. I have like 22 honoring awards in print. They're 5 by 7 with pretty colorful borders. And what's cool is because they don't have a name on it. So, like when a caregiver gets one of these awards and it touches them deeply, they can't wait to pass it on to another overburdened caregiver, right?
Right.
So people pass these on. They get a valuable volunteer award. They want to someday the perfect time comes to, pass it on. And then for the Sassy Wake Up Call Awards, I've got like 18. And yeah, I've got some great titles. They're a lot of fun.
Well, it's nice. Like as we say, just even a little bit of encouragement, and just a nice word or a nice gesture, that always that's more sincere than putting it out there and filming it and stuff like that. Like if you're like I always say this, and I said this earlier with the with those viral videos of the guy
Yeah.
who's buying stuff for the homeless people and stuff like that. You're
Hmm.
clearly just doing it for the attention and stuff so people can say, look how nice of a guy I am, this and that.
Right.
Whereas anybody who is genuinely just a good uh caring person would just give it to them and not ask for anything in return. You know what I mean? Like that's always a big. How do you see those differences? And it's something because people can say all they want about how sincere they are and how this and that. But are you able to kind of pick out those people in a crowd kind of thing? Like if a whole bunch of them say, "Yeah, I care about people. I care about this and this and this and this," but are you able to? Do you have almost that sense of, nah, like you're clearly just doing this for, just for the publicity and stuff?
My job is to really encourage people to understand the benefits of anonymous giving. It's such a win-win. I have a poem that goes out, it's called Honoring Builds a Circle of Nobility because it does. When you do honorable things like, helping people feel protected against verbal abuse, when you do things like send someone a wonderful award that honors them, it just makes all the difference in the world. So, my focus isn't on who's doing what. My focus is on I want to inspire you, to have some fun. Some of my sassy awards are a little bit funny, some are more serious. Narcissistic, numbskull, and gossip monger are very important to me. And I'll tell you what, people get those and they change their behavior because they don't know who sent it. I just can't express enough how powerful the mystery is when people feel, oh my gosh, encouraged and supported. I mean, I've literally heard, and I'm not bragging, but seriously, I've heard several people say over the years, because I've been doing all this since like 2002, that there have actually been 3 different situations over many years where 3 either gay or trans young teenage boys were ready to commit suicide and they had friends that were worried about them. They had me send an award and wondering who sent it and having something positive like that, according to their friends, turned them around, gave them something different to think about and wonder about, and they changed their direction.
Even if it just one person could be impacted by it, like that's one of the things with art and stuff like that is if people can see it, trash on it, do whatever they want. But if one person, even just one person, could take something from it, and whether it
Yes.
saves their life, even or encourages them to do better, then it's all worth it. It really, really is. And sometimes the one person, it just causes the domino effect. They do it, and then the people they know
Yes.
do it, and then that's kind of how it. Have you noticed that too?
Oh,
The
definitely.
domino effect. One person does
Definitely.
it, and
So,
then it all. Yeah.
yeah, so I started out honoring, one of the ways I majorly started honoring people was I became a palmistry expert, and I did palmistry professionally, teaching lectures, private consultations, party and event entertainment for, I don't know, something like over 40 years. Most of my adult life, it was my primary profession. And I did palmistry for a young girl's birthday party in Boulder, Colorado, when I lived in Colorado. And this one girl, I just said, "Oh man, I can imagine you, honoring people anonymously." Anyway, the mother gave me the names and addresses of these girls, and I sent different awards to different girls. And the mother called me and said, "Oh, it's amazing what's happening. They're all talking about who got what award and why it matters and how important it is instead of who's wearing what pair of jeans." She's like, my kids, yeah, they're privileged. I admit it. She said, but I'll tell you what, it's got them looking in a whole different direction, away from the materialistic focus of what they have to who they are and what they might feel inspired to do. And I've just seen it so, so much. And with these children that have raw deals at home, and they get a gifted and talented child award in the mail with their name, it's just powerful.
The Corkin Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch, the ultimate platform designed to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Are you a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights? Or perhaps you're a guest hoping to share your story with a broader audience. Whatever your podcasting goals are, we have the perfect solution for you. Podmatch simplifies the entire process of discovering guests for your show or finding podcasts to feature your expertise. Now imagine a platform where you can easily match with like-minded creators tailored specifically to your niche. With Podmatch, you can effortlessly network with influencers and thought leaders, all while staying true to your podcast vision. There are a multitude of ways that Podmatch can help you grow your brand. You can be part of a thriving community of podcasters and potential guests. Engage, collaborate, and grow together. If you're ready to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, we invite you to join Podmatch today. Head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corkin Entertainment and sign up right now for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right, $6 a month. Join the Podmatch family today and watch your podcast soar to new altitudes. Thank you for tuning into the Corkin Entertainment Show, and happy podcasting. Oh, 100%. Wow. Like that's truly amazing to just to spread kindness.
Yes.
Like that's really just something that we need more of too, as I said. Where do you kind of see do you have any like long-term goals or like a end game for where you want all of this to go? Because I mean everything, it's always something that's needed and everything too. So, but with the world changing and stuff like that, because it's also being run, like a business and stuff like that too. So where do you kind of envision it being in, say, like 10,
Boy,
15 years?
I got a long, big vision. I'm a visionary girl. By the way, you'll appreciate my definition of a visionary based on my own experience. A visionary is one who is inspired and haunted by humanitarian ideals and endeavors.
That's a good way
That
to
would
put
be
it.
me. And I want so many. So, what I really, in my heart of hearts, honestly, Frankie, what I want is I want to get a sponsor. I want to give away my program to the young, beautiful, techie youth people. I've had my day in the limelight. I want them to go out and do party and event entertainment with my Evolving Genius honoring improv. Everybody loves improv. You add the honoring to it, it makes it deeper. It binds people together. It's such a beautiful, beautiful process. I've got beginning sentences, keywords, game or stage names, ton of fun. I'm getting that program ready to really put out into the world. Also, I've also rebranded it as Noble Storytellers and Wisdom Keepers because a lot of senior citizens want to do Wisdom Keeper Wednesdays at a nice venue, win-win for the venue, where they get to tell honoring stories, make up honoring stories about each other. It's fun, it's funny, it's enlivening, it's enriching. Honoring makes everybody look good. And my tagline for all of my honoring event programs is, you're going to love this. It's true. When we take our honoring, laughter, and applause seriously, everyone wins and we create everlasting happy memories.
That's good.
It's
That's
true.
perfect, actually. That's something that
People
people
need
don't think about.
friendship. Yep, they want something positive to do. And people want things to do at events that are positive, that are uplifting. And what's beautiful with these awards too is I have an Evolving Genius honoring awards ceremony that employers love because when their employees start honoring each other and everybody is happier, it brings harmony to the workplace. And if they do the creative storytelling, it's wonderful. And what I love, to be really honest with you, Frankie, because you'll appreciate this, the day that I realized that the format I have put together for the noble storytellers and wisdom keepers, or the honoring improv, the spontaneous honoring storytelling programs I have, the day I realized that the format was simple. You bring the creative storytelling, I give you the good resources and format. The day I realized that that could be translated into any language, my little inner peacemaker cried because I am a peacemaker. I care about it. And here's the truth: honoring and storytelling are both time honored peacemaking traditions within all cultures. We're terrible at it in this country. We don't even hardly honor people at their milestones, but my programs are going to change that. And I'm very excited about it.
And like that's perfect. Like that's really and the long-term plans like we always say people say oh I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, but no, it's good to envision these things and to set
Yes.
goals and stuff like that. How important is setting goals? I mean, not just for this but for anything really. Like it could be someone saying I want to go on a diet and lose, this amount of weight by this date. And then that's their end goal. Their end goal is to reach that certain size. End goal is, let's say someone makes a resolution of I'm going to quit smoking, and I plan to be done with smoking and not smoking any, or like completely tobacco free by
Yes.
this date. So how crucial is it for not just a business, but for anything really, setting goals?
Oh, it absolutely is. And again, it's like if you want to lose weight, just even keeping track of what you eat can be really enlightening to you. We have a tendency to sit in front of the TV or whatever and eat unconsciously. I know I've certainly been there before. So it's like, where do you want to go? That's the thing. I was also a clinical hypnotherapist for many years, and people focus too much on what they don't want rather than what they do want. And that's the whole thing with affirmations, creative visualizations, hypnotherapy, NLP, all those wonderful skill sets, focusing on what we do want, not what we don't want. I mean, we've got to, and that's why the appreciation, encouragement, and support of each other or groups, look at what AA has accomplished. Look at, what all the different programs that help support people with addictions, um, you know,
It
look at the
really
wonderful
helps.
good they do in the world.
No,
Absolutely.
exactly. And talking about your struggles helps too, like
Yes.
it's like you said, AA. Some people don't want to go to AA because they say I it's embarrassing and this and that. But sometimes talking about that stuff, even if you're not an alcoholic anymore and you're past that, it's good to talk to people because there are people in those meetings who are still struggling. And so
Yes.
you talking to them and telling your story can
Yes.
inspire them. So as we said, it's like the domino effect. Just one person says this, it's like you set off a chain reaction. You know what I mean? Like just
Yes.
everybody just follows it, and maybe their journey's not the same as yours, but it kind of gives them that motivation, which I think is really important. Uh,
Yes.
as we kind of wrap up here, I was kind of just wondering, do you have any advice that you would give to people in regards to just anything that we talked about in kindness and setting goals and stuff like that? Is there any call to action that you may have for our listeners?
Well, I just want people to know that honoring other people always makes you look good. It is a social skill. Our social skills are dwindling. I don't need to tell you that. Everybody knows that. Look at the verbal abuse and bullying. And I think it's important to realize that, I think whistleblowing, it's a wonderful thing that it's legal and that we have access supposedly to it in our government because people have to be willing to tell the honest truth and not get thrown under the bus. And boy, I'll tell you, people come to me and say, please send your gossip monger award to this person or your poem about verbal abuse. Sometimes we have to be the champions. We can't expect the government to fix it. We can't always expect the school district to fix it or the parents to fix it. If something bothers you, step up, be the solution. And there's some great solutions out there. There really, truly are. And everybody's got their hero's journey. And I just want to encourage everybody's hero's journey. And then I just want to read this one little award that I want to give to you, Frankie. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
I give you the illustrious Instigator Award. You are hereby offered this prestigious award as you are fully, completely, and absolutely adored. Your illustrious presence is truly immense and without pretense. You encourage and instigate all that is good, loving, and true. You are clearly everything you value. Your glowing nobility instigates righteous opportunity. Your humility astounds as our honoring resounds. You are graciously and brilliantly astute, inspiring this illustrious tribute. Yay!
Yay. Thank you for that. My God, that's true. So, do I have to give an acceptance speech or anything like that too? That's
You certainly can. And you're definitely going to give me your mailing address so that I can put this in the mail and you can have your hard copy.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yes, I will be sure to private message you. If I say that on the air, people will find me.
Yes, I'm excited to send that to you in the mail.
That is so nice of you. Thank you so much for that. Wow, like guys, we need more people in the world like Iris. It's one of those things where I know things are tough in the world. The world can be brutal. The world
Yes.
can be full of ups and downs and this and that. But at the end of the day, like just one kind word, one thing of encouragement and this and that, just anything like that can really go a long way. And that's why what Iris is doing is truly fantastic. Thank you so much, not just for the award, but for sharing your words of motivational wisdom and just encouraging people to just be themselves and be genuine, not
Well,
just
thank
the
you.
not just the online let's film me buying some pizzas for homeless people. Let's just do it just to be nice. Let's just
And
not do it for the attention.
yes, and let's remember how powerful the mystery is. The
Yes.
mystery is so fabulous. To have to wonder who was so kind is really a beautiful exercise for people. How often do people have that opportunity to say, "Oh, somebody did something really sweet, very simple, but very wonderful, very heartfelt," and have to think about all the wonderful people that could have done it? That's a powerful exercise in joy.
Exactly. Just soak it all in. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
it.
soak it all in and just say, you know what? Doesn't matter. I got a guardian angel. You know what I mean? Like that could
Mhm.
be one thing, you know?
Exactly.
That's it. Awesome. So, Iris, thank you so much. Where can people find you, by the way, on the internet, social media, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my website is anonymousexpressions with an S.com. And then I have an Etsy shop which has all of my fabulous ebooks. It has my verbal abuse poem. It has all kinds of fun stuff. My Mayan astrology interpretations. And my Etsy shop is Evolving Genius Awards. And that's where you can find all my awards, my ebooks, my honesty letters, my sassy wake up call awards like, Gossip Monger and narcissistic numbskull and all those fun things. So yeah, I really love being able to have all of my stuff at my Etsy shop. It's very easy. You can find it through my Anonymous Expressions website. I'm in the process of building a new website called Honoring Events, and but you can get all my stuff on Etsy right now.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So, guys, be sure to support Iris and all of her exciting endeavors. Iris, thank you so much. And just keep on being you. We need more you in the world.
And same to you, Frankie. Thank you for sharing the good energy and thank you for being all you are and all you do.
Yes, aside from my terrible camera, which I mean, you guys are listening to this. I always try to set up my web camera and just kind of set up a little connection, but my camera decided not to work today. So all Iris is looking at is just the podcast logo. But I hope you can feel the enthusiasm through that.
Absolutely, we can. And thank you so much again, Frankie.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So, guys, we are going to take a short break. We will be right back. But until then, this is Frankie and Iris signing off. Thank you, Iris.
Thank you, Frankie.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cork and Entertainment Show. That was me and Iris Barratt. Thank you so much, Iris, for coming on. It's just having people like that who start those types of programs specifically dedicated to spreading kindness and stuff like that, and just a a compliment can do wonders. It can do a lot of different things in terms of motivation and just making you feel good. Self-confidence is a big thing. So thank you so much, Iris, for coming on and for spreading your positivity. I really, really appreciate it. The anonymous instigator, which is that was really the big thing that always took me was doing it all anonymously, not doing it out of your own ego, not doing it because, hey, look what I did. Just being nice for nice sake, So thank you, Iris. Really, really appreciate that and had a blast with you. So. Moving on to our solo discussion topics today. We're coming off the heels of the Oscars, and they were really good this year. Now, I used to watch the Oscars live. I always did watch the Oscars live, but just I find that they just get too. At some points, they get too long and too dry. They drag on for long periods of time, and they have like these long, so for me, I always mainly we all watch the Oscars for the same reason, which is to see who's going to win the big movie awards. And but this year was probably the best ceremony they had in a long time because they had a kick-ass host with Conan O'Brien. And as soon as they announced that he was going to do it, now don't get me wrong, I love Jimmy Kimmel. He was a great host. He hosted it for like 4 years in a row, something like that. And so he did a great job, but it's just Conan was born to host the Oscars, I think. There's a reason why I still say he's the greatest late night talk show host of all time. That could be divisive. Some people might disagree with me on that. They might say Letterman's up there or Leno, whoever you say is the greatest. But I still argue and will fight anyone that Conan is the greatest in terms of comedic timing, as an interviewer, as just a person. So that's why when they announced that he was hosting the Oscars, I said, this is perfect. And so much so, he was such a good host that they announced this early on. They don't normally announce the host till like a month before the show or a few months leading up to it. They just locked it right in. Conan is returning to host the Oscars next year in 2026, which is awesome. Awesome. And, according to the Hollywood Reporter article, the 2025 ceremony that just happened this month, it attracted the highest ratings for an Oscar telecast in 5 years, which is absolutely fantastic. So right off the bat, I think it's because the Oscar hosting job, while it might seem like what's the big deal about it, it's turned into such a, nobody wants that job because of the controversies and stuff that come around it. Especially with the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing, there was just so much that happened from that. And we're still seeing kind of the ripple effects of it. So I think the fact that they were able to get Conan to do it was a huge thing. Because I think even he's smart enough to know that accepting that job. I mean, we look at people like hosts John Mulaney, who was offered the job at one point. I can't remember if it was for this year or last year, but he was offered the job and he just said, "No, I'm not doing that." Just knowing what it was going to be like, because when you accept the job to host the Oscars, people start pulling up the weirdest thing. And of all things, for an Oscars hosting job, like, why do people on social media got to make that such a big deal? Like, that's almost like when they start to dig up all the horrible things that person did. Why are they digging that up over an Oscars gig? To me, it just makes no sense whatsoever. But that's just my take on it. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. And so that's why the Oscars have been kind of a job that nobody wanted to have in hosting it. I argue that I think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman should have hosted it this year. But I think they made the right call in getting Conan to do it, because he brought something to the Oscars that was missing forever. Takes us all the way back to, like, the Billy Crystal days. Takes us back to like the old days, like the good old fashioned days. He knows what boundaries to cross, what boundaries not to. And so that's why he's the best host for it. So the fact that he did such a good job that they locked it in like far in advance, a full year in advance, because as I said, they normally wait like 3 months before the ceremony before they announce who hosted it. This time it was like, you know what, let's just not waste some time. Let's just lock it right in, get them signed in for next year. So I'm very, very happy about that. And this shows that, the Oscars are kind of getting back up and running. Could they ask him again after that? That's another question. I think it would be great if they could. I mean, it really all depends on what he wants to do. Because it's not like the Oscars job, or the hosting gig. It's not like one of those contracts where they sign like a 5-year contract or nothing like that. It's just basically like a one shot, one deal. And if they want to come back, they can come back. Conan agreed to come back to it. So, but anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole Conan situation. I think it's a perfect decision. He did a great job this year. And as I said, I will fight anybody who says otherwise. But I think he's the greatest talk show host of all time. And I'm so glad that even though he's not in late night anymore, he has his podcast and stuff like that. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, which I never miss. I never miss an episode of that. It's so good. And just seeing him still thriving is awesome. It's really, really awesome. So definitely be sure to let me know your thoughts. Is he the perfect host for it? Should they get Jimmy Kimmel back? Should they get Will Smith? Whatever you think, be sure to let me know your thoughts. And so our last solo discussion topic today is going to be one that I haven't talked about in a long time, actually. It's been a long time since I talked about Jonathan Majors. For those of you guys who don't know, of course, he was set to play, or not set to play, well, he played Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And then, of course, he was set to be the main villain of Kang Dynasty, which was, of course, Avengers, what is now known as Avengers Doomsday. It was supposed to be the Kang Dynasty. Now it's Doomsday. They kind of shifted their focus from Robert Downey Jr. From Jonathan Majors' Kang to Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, so it's an understandable decision. I know kind of what's starting these conversations up again is because Jonathan Majors' new movie just came out, Magazine Dreams. And so he's kind of doing some press for that and stuff like that. People, of course, are going to ask him. This is the first big project he's done since the whole allegations and the trial and stuff like that. Basically, there was abuse allegations, and he was found guilty. And after he was found guilty, Marvel basically dropped him from Kang Dynasty. That's when they reworked it to be Avengers Doomsday instead. But in an article here, this is on Deadline, Jonathan Majors said he would return to Kang the Conqueror if he was offered. So it says, the actor is promoting his latest film, Magazine Dreams, and said if Marvel called him to reprise his role in the MCU, he would accept. And then the quote here says, yeah, of course, I say yes. Disney, Marvel Studios, I love them, Majors told USA Today. Tom Hiddleston, loved working with that guy. Loved working with Paul Rudd. Loved working with Gugu Mbatha Raw. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I love the industry so much, and now I'm in the place where I can feel the love from them and actually express my love for them. Yeah, that's interesting to hear about that. Especially after getting fired over that type of, it's just absolutely terrible how it all transpired and everything. But the fact that he straight up said, he goes, yeah, I would still come back if they wanted me to. Now this was followed by a audio clip that's been going around, which was basically so of course the whole situation with, I'm not one to talk about this type of stuff on podcasts because it's real stuff. I talk about entertainment on here. But since it's kind of indirectly impacting the movies that we're going to see, that's when it kind of becomes, something worth talking about on here. But then this article is from E! News, where Jonathan Majors addresses audio leak of him allegedly admitting to strangling ex Grace Jabari. After a recent audio clip that has not been independently verified by E! News was leaked, in which the Creed 3 actor seemingly references strangling his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari, Jonathan addressed the situation. So he just talks about, I'm so grateful I had done my work and continue to do my work. And I can't speak to it, but obviously because you're talking about it, there are vibrations, reverberations, same as everything before, but I was happy I'd done my work. So yeah, there was basically an audio clip of him basically saying, like, I didn't strangle you, I aggressed you, and he basically self-right admitted that he did strangle his ex. And instead of just saying I didn't strangle you, I aggressed you, it's like, okay. But so yeah, that's that situation. I'm not really gonna give my thoughts on, was he sincere, was he not. But I'm seeing lots of people saying that they need to give him another chance and that, he's turning over a new leaf and this and that. I am still in the mindset of, I think Marvel made the right choice. He's accepted the consequences. Yes, he absolutely, found guilty of the whole thing. So I think it's a tricky situation. Because we all want people to grow and change from what the decisions they make. But in this case here, we look at someone like Robert Downey Jr., who, yes, he did horrible things in the past and was able to come back from them. He wasn't given his jobs back or anything. Like, he was fired from all those jobs. Nobody wanted to give him a chance after all the bullshit he put them through and everything. And I think Jonathan Majors should be the same situation. I don't know what he would have been like on those sets if he was problematic or whatever. Because from what I hear, everything was great. Once these allegations and stuff all came out, that's kind of when it all shit hit the fan. So yeah, it's definitely a complicated situation. But I think personally, because all the stuff, even if he was found innocent or whatever, if Marvel doesn't want to work with him, I think they're totally justified in doing that. Like, if they rehired him again, let's just say if they rehired him again, that's a risk that they want to take. That they're okay, we're willing to take a risk. Maybe this movie won't go as good if he's in it, but we like him and he's talented and we want to give him another chance. Then sure, okay. But they're playing the safer approach where we're just better off just scrapping it, And they're totally justified in doing that. People are saying, they can say what they want about them, but I think they're making a totally rational decision. Even if Jonathan Majors says he would come back, this audio clip of him, whether it's true or not, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe we did make the right call, and maybe what he did wasn't right, and I think Jonathan Majors knows that too. I think he's also in the mindset of, if they don't call me back, I understand. That's just the way they do business. Because at the end of the day, like one of the sayings is, it's not show friends, it's show business, and they got to run things as a business. So they're totally justified in doing that. But anyways, that's my thoughts on that. I don't want to get too much deeper in that, but basically my thoughts still say the same. I think, yes, even if that audio clip was altered or whatever, which it very well could have been. I mean, in today's day and age, I'm sure it could have been altered. I still think Disney's making the right choice by, they don't want to take any risks, and they want the most successful movie that they can get. And I think they're justified in not wanting him back. But I think it's a nice gesture for him to just outright, he could have just very well just came out and said, fuck them, fuck this, or fuck them. But he's not. He just straight up said, I would come back in a heartbeat if they wanted me to. So I admire that. I do admire that, that, despite what he went through, he's still willing to do his thing and come back if they want him to. But not going to happen probably. And I don't think it should. But anyways, those are my thoughts on that. Definitely be sure to leave me your thoughts in the comments and all that stuff. And so we're going to call it for the show today, guys. I want to thank my guest, Iris Barratt, for coming on and for spreading her kindness and positivity and optimism. Thank you guys for listening to the show. Definitely be sure to leave us some nice reviews, whatever. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, this is Frankie signing off. Have a great week, everybody.